Good evening. Tonight we honor a Central Illinois legend, Chuck Collins, and his 50 years in broadcasting.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that career, where it started in television and radio. We'll take a look at those big weather moments no one can forget, and we've got plenty of Central Illinois shout-outs.
When it comes to big weather moments, having trust in meteorologists is just so important. I think we all could agree that Chuck has earned that trust over the last 30 years. Now, in my 8 years here at WEEK, I've learned a lot from Chuck, and I sat down with him to look back at many memorable weather events over his career. Going back to the beginning, what was the first big weather experience you remember as a professional?
I started doing weather in the spring of 1988, so I've been doing weather about 38 years out of my 50 years in the business. And that summer was the worst drought we've seen in recent history. Peoria received like 1/10 of an inch of rain that summer, and back then we didn't have drought-resistant hybrids, so everything just burned up in the field, and it was a devastating loss for farmers.
The big weather event in your career, in the Washington tornado. So kind of talk about the event itself and kind of what it was like that day.
Yeah, number one on the list is the Washington tornado, November 17th, 2013. All the dynamics we deal with when predicting severe weather were way off the charts.
East Peoria, Morton, Pekin, if you are in the path of this cell, now is the time to take shelter.
We were on the air with tornado warnings, live coverage, because we had warnings already issued.
Just had a big tornado.
Tornado touched down about 100 yards away from our front door on our station property.
I am hearing things right now, Chuck.
Yes.
I think we may need to take shelter right now ourselves.
We do.
We need to go off the air.
Yeah.
We will be back when we can.
Right. We'll be right back. So we told everybody to dive for cover. So we went for cover on the air to our interior bathrooms, which is our storm shelter, and everybody in the building did the same. When we came out a few minutes later, we realized that tornado, which touched down here as an EF2, about 125 mile-an-hour winds or so, turned into an EF4 monster around Farmdale Park, headed toward Washington with 190 mile-an-hour winds.
My truck's totaled and the house is totaled. You might want to send some help over this way.
I need EMS in Stonegate subdivision. I've got houses completely flattened and a couple of people with injuries buried in debris.
If there are any additional units that can assist in Washington, any additional units, there's a lot of damage.
It was the day after when I looked at the damage, went to Washington and looked at the damage. Biggest lump in my throat I ever saw, and I was devastated. We as journalists and meteorologists are taught to not get involved in your story, not get emotional, but it was hard not to. I cried. I just saw the devastation. You know, that was one of those things that would bring tears to anybody's eyes. People like and still depend on their local television meteorologists for information, especially during severe weather. I had several people say, "You literally saved our lives. When we saw you diving for cover on the air, we said we have to take cover because you were practicing what you were preaching." Roanoke tornado that hit Parsons Manufacturing was isolated. It was just a small area, and that was brutal as well. Big black wedge tornado moving northwest to southeast went right through Parsons Manufacturing. There was plenty of lead time. The warnings were out, but Parsons Manufacturing was totally destroyed, leveled. It was blown out into cornfields. Nothing was there except 2 bathrooms that were built as storm shelters by the owner, Bob Parsons. 140 employees came out of those bathrooms unscathed. There were a couple of minor injuries. And when the plant was rebuilt, he put 5 of those storm shelters in.
Switching gears to winter, obviously the Groundhog Day blizzard's another big one. You know, Gertie had Willard Scott, you had pajamas. What was that storm like?
Yeah, although it was a serious blizzard and very dangerous, we didn't have any fatalities or anything like that. It was a little bit on the less serious side of things. Groundhog Day blizzard of 2011, February 1st and 2nd. We saw 3 or 4 days coming a massive snowstorm. It was a situation where we were expecting snowfall rates to be exceeding 1 to 2 inches an hour. And those of us who worked the evening shift came in early.
This is the first sleeping area, right? I'm not sure who's sleeping here.
We brought our PJs and we brought our sleeping bags. We had food brought in, and several members of the staff stayed over because we knew we wouldn't be able to get out when it was time to go home at 10:30 at night. So we all stayed here. And we had 15 to 17 inches of snow, thunder snow, the most serious thunder snow we've ever seen around here. It was like a thunderstorm, but it was snow. And it was Groundhog Day on the 2nd.
I wish I was in Peoria.
And Willard Scott, who was with the Today Show, NBC weatherman, was contracted to come in and preside over the Groundhog Gertie festivities at Wildlife Prairie Park. Well, Wildlife Prairie Park is out in the rural area and there's no way you could get there, so they brought Gertie and they brought Willard Scott on snowmobiles to our station, and we had the Groundhog Day events here in our parking lot.
That's the Chief You Know Now. Where did it start? 50 years ago, and that wasn't even his name. We're going to take you back in time after some Central Illinois shout-outs.
Hey Chief, Chuck, I just want to say congratulations on such a remarkable career. You really are someone that should be idolized for any newcomer that's coming into the broadcast meteorology world. So just congratulations on a fantastic career and enjoy retirement.
Chuck, I remember, as I said, I remember those early days, those Friday nights. We teamed up to do Morton High School football on WTAZ, and of course, you went on to bigger and better things, and I found out I have a face for radio. So just congratulations. Enjoy this extra time with your family and yourself, and just thanks for the information that you passed along to us and probably the thousands of lives that you saved along the way. Just thank you and enjoy this.
To my favorite meteorologist, Chuck Collins, thank you for providing weather forecasts and education for over 50 years to our Peoria community. You know, I've been watching you, Chuck, all of those 50 years, and I rely on your forecast, I rely on your judgment, I rely on your expertise to keep my family and I safe and to know what's happening from day to day with our weather.